Um, hey, do you want to? I'm assuming you still wanted the brokers open with David not being on board. Do you want to just put?
It's showtime. Let's get the show on the road. All right, everybody. So we are continuing on the topic of for sale by owners. We got today, tomorrow, and then next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we are going to be taking the last 2 weeks off. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Again, for sale by owners. What do I love about for sale by owners is that 100% of the for sale by owners raise their hands. I want to sell my home. So that's what I love most about for sale by owners. The challenges, of course, it does require some sense of skill, some sort of a system, something that's going to put you in a position that's going to separate you from every single last Tom, Dick, and Harry of an agent. What are the mistakes that unfortunately realtors will make? Well, the mistake that realtors make is just simply the fact that they usually call them the one time and then that's it. When do they call them? They call them in that very first week when they're these know-it-alls. I don't need you. I'm good. So bring me a buyer and maybe I'll pay you a commission. It doesn't work. You got to be able to put a system in place. We're going to talk a little bit further in regards to that system. I've been talking about creating a profile sheet, which I'm going to share with you guys here in just a little bit. And in this profile sheet, it allows us the opportunity to be able to create the story, create the motivation behind every single last situation. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're all on the same page as to what the purpose of that profile sheet is. That literally is your system to an extent, okay? Because as you go through, you speak to the one or two for sale by owners today, you speak to another for sale by owner tomorrow, nobody is there on Friday, you do it again on Monday, you start to build this momentum. And after a good 6, 8, 10 weeks, you're going to have 30, 40, 50, even as many as 70 of these for sale by owners. And you're sitting there and saying, well, that doesn't happen in my backyard. No, you haven't built a system. Okay, because even in the times where properties were taking, a week or two to sell, there was still an inventory of these for sale by owners. Okay, so I'm going to go over the profile sheet in just a little bit. I want to open it up to the audience. First off, I want to take a minute to acknowledge those of you that are joining us on YouTube. Facebook, and Instagram. So thank you guys for joining us. I would encourage you to come join us here on Zoom. Gives us the opportunity to interact a little bit different. You're welcome, though, of course, to stay on those other platforms. Feel free to type in your questions. We'll get all of your questions addressed. With that being said, is there any questions here that I can answer right out the gates? No, we got it all figured out. All right. If you do have a question, feel free. Just go ahead and jump right in, raise your hand, or just simply cut me off. I don't mind.
Quick question. You
Hmm?
had mentioned, this is Beatrice, by the way, sorry. You
Good
had
morning.
mentioned to pick 3 top zip codes, right?
Yeah.
And how do you go in about determining that? I mean, do you look for what parameters do you look for to hone in on zip codes?
Yeah, it's not so much what's moving, what's hot. I'm literally just talking about what are the areas you want to service. Uh, like for you, as an example, as you mentioned before, you're wanting to service basically Costa Mesa, Anaheim. I think you said Santa Ana. That's great. I mean, that's huge. But if you take all three of those cities, you're probably talking about 14, 15 different zip codes. And to get from one side of town to the other side of town, it could very easily be 30 minutes, and in some cases, even as much as an hour. Okay. So by narrowing it down by zip codes, you can sit there and say, I really want to micro focus in this little quadrant. So it gives us the opportunity to where you can sit there and say the 2 focal points, one of them being top 3 zip codes. You can say these top 3 zip codes, I don't care when they show up. My integrity is when a property shows up, I'm going to go knock on those doors. Okay. If it's top 3 cities, you're like, okay, well, I might have to strategize a little bit because if I'm going to go, from Irvine to on the other side of Anaheim, and you're trying to do that at 5 o'clock, well, good luck because you're probably going to be sitting in a parking lot for an hour. So you're probably going to want to strategize a little bit different. Okay. So, all right, moving on. Now, as far as the average for sale by owner, we talked about it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks on average, 6 to 8 weeks on average. Okay. So when I say that, you have to remember I'm saying average. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be ready on week 1, week 2, week 3. Or for that matter, some of them might take 10, 20 weeks. I've seen some for sale by owners have been on the market for almost 2 years. Okay. But the point of what I'm trying to make in this is that it's going to take some time. Okay. And in that you need to build, you need to, excuse me, you need to build a system. Okay. Now, some people tell me, well, Robert, what if I just call them until that 6th, 7th, or 8th week? And then, as you said, when they're ripe. Well, the difference is I've called them 5, 6, 7, 8 times where you're calling them once or twice. Who do you think is going to have better rapport? Okay. So that's the reason I say you have to build that system. Now, on this, there's 2 parts, and I'm going to share with you guys now. There's 2 parts in regards to when we're speaking to these for sale by owners. And the 2 parts that I'm referring to is there's a side of a sheet, and on that sheet is going to be the script. On the back side of that sheet is going to be the prequel, or I'm sorry, not the prequel, but the profile sheet, which is this sheet. So 2 sides. Have a bunch of them printed. Have 20, 30, 40 of them printed. You can use them all the time. Now, what's the purpose? You need to think of these as fill in the blanks. As these people are answering these questions, you're going to fill it in. Just fill it in, okay? Now, in the questions that are over on the profile sheet, they're going to be pretty much the exact same thing. But in this, what I want you to do is I want you to get more in depth. And what I mean by that is that as an example, they sit there and say, well, I want to make a move over to Rancho Cucamonga. Okay, what part of Rancho Cucamonga? Okay, are you looking for off of Day Creek? Are you looking off of Thoroughbred? Are you looking off Carnelian? Are you wanting to be on the west side, the east side, the north side? Where is it that you're wanting to be at? I want to be in San Diego. Okay, are you wanting to be in the city of or the county of? And what city are you really looking at? So we want to be able to get into the depthness of it. What's the motivation? So that's all of this part. When we call them week after week after week, we need to have something of a version of value, okay? A version of value, something that's going to be a topic. Because going through FSBO, hey, this is Robert. I just want to check in with you. How are things going? You ready to hire a realtor? Not yet. Okay, great. I'll check back with you next week. That's not going to work. You need to be able to bring something of value, preferably, and or something that might cause doubts. Okay, something that might cause doubt. Now, don't start with doubts because that's the quickest and easiest way to put yourself in a corner with a for sale by owner. What do I mean by that? So right out the gate, go through, I role played yesterday with Lizette and I talked about the example of cross qualification. Okay, who's going to be doing the cross qualification for your buyer? 99 times out of 100, what does the for sale by owner say? What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. What's cross qualification? How does that differ from them getting qualified from a lender? Or the example that Lizette used, well, they already have a lender. Yeah, you're right. However, what I do as a professional realtor is when we do get a buyer for any of our sellers, we go through a rigorous process to make sure that we have a second set of eyes, which is my lender, go through and see exactly whether that buyer is going to be high risk or low risk type of buyer. Wouldn't you want to know that information in advance? Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. But yeah, I don't need your help. If you want to send over the lender information, feel free. Now, the lender's job, you have to make sure you let them know. This is important because the lender's job, when in the role play that I used yesterday with Lizette, Lizette gives my lender a call, goes, "Hey, lender Bob, this is Lizette. This guy named Robert Villa something referred me to you, said you do something about cross qualification." Lender goes, "Yeah, absolutely. How can I help you?" And he goes through and he's like, "Well, why aren't you using Robert, by the way? I mean, he's basically the best realtor I've ever worked with. He's the best realtor since sliced bread." So now the lender's reselling me. Okay. And what that basically does is it elevates our position amongst all of the other realtors, whether it's 10, 15, 20, 50, or 100 of the realtors we're competing with. Then I go through, call back the second week. And in that second week, I give Lizette a call back. I say, "Hey, how's it going? I know you had talked about possibly doing an open house. Did you end up doing that? Did you guys get any buyers?" Now, I know that when you and I spoke last week, you had mentioned to me that you're not really looking to adjust your price down when working with a buyer. But I am curious, though, why did you decide to sell yourself rather than list with a real estate agent like myself? Okay. And I go through, ask a question, and then I go and at the very end I said, "Hey, by the way, who are you going to use for escrow? What escrow company are you using that's going to be servicing, the transaction once it goes through?" And for those of you that are in an attorney state, which attorney is going to be helping you, with the processing of this file? And then the week after that, who's the title company? Legalities. Hey, out of curiosity, I don't know if you're aware of the fact that there is an 8% chance of for sale by owners that actually get sued. Were you aware of the fact? You don't want to start with that. That's what I mean by, some of the doubts. You can offer an open house. The only thing I ask of you to proceed with caution with the open house is just simply don't be that agent that only does open houses for sale by owners because you're going to get used and abused. Okay. And you don't want to necessarily just offer an open house, but there are going to be some times you're like, okay, well, man, this is a solid listing. Most of the areas that I service are 4 or 5 or 600,000, and there's this $1.2 million for sale by owner, and it looks like it's priced pretty well. Maybe I can at least capture the buyer, or even better, I've always looked at for sale by owners and the opportunity to capture the next seller, especially with those type of properties. Let me throw it back to the audience. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything of anythings?
I'm sorry, Robert, did you say not to do open houses for them when they offer?
No. I'm saying be careful when only offering open houses.
Got it.
Offer an open house if it is a great opportunity, because the easiest thing that you can actually do is what's it called? Just simply call up a for sale by owner and say, "Hey, I could do an open house for you." And you're doing this week after week after week after week, and then you're offering these open houses with these for sale by owners that's listed for $1 million, and the property's only worth 800,000. You're not attracting any buyers. You're not attracting any sellers. You're just simply sitting there wasting your time. And you don't want to just throw that at them. Number 2 is the previews. Okay, so previews are easy. You can line those up all day, every day. Now, going back to Beatrice's question, I'm going to encourage you to do a preview. If they're in the top 3 cities, top 3 zip codes, get out there as quickly as you possibly can. Don't wait. Okay, get out there as quickly as you can. Get in front of them. Take this sheet that I'm sharing with you guys here with you, put it on a clipboard, and as you're talking to them, do nothing more than ask them these questions. Okay. All right, so I'm done with the blah, blah, blah. It's basically time to work on our skills. That's the whole purpose of this. Again, for those of you that are joining us over on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, this is a part where coming over to Zoom is beneficial because it gives us the opportunity to interact a little bit different. All right, so who wants to be the first person to go? We're going to work on some skills here. Don't worry, I'll be easy. I just need participation. That's the key. Yeah, you got to be vulnerable. Let's make it happen. All right, let's see. I got Sanaz. Go for it, Sanaz, and then I'll have Shelly go after. You guys did it at the same time.
Hi, this is Sonas. I'm a local realtor with Intero, and I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Yeah, it is the owner.
You know, I help a lot of for sale by owners in the area, and I was wondering, when you sell this home, where are you going next?
Well, we're looking to just stay here.
Okay, that's great. And how soon do you want to be? Oh, you're just staying there? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
how soon do you want to make the move? Now, staying here, I'm not referring to house. I'm saying to the area.
you're staying in the area. And how soon do you want to be there?
Not really in a rush. You know, just something that we want to get done here sooner rather than later, though.
Okay, how would you rate your motivation to move on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, it's there. I would say basically like a 7, maybe an 8.
Okay, good for you. And share with me, Robert, how are you currently marketing your home?
Well, we have a sign in the yard. We have some flyers out in the community, and I mean, we have it also on Facebook. So that's another thing on the Facebook marketplace. So we've done a little bit of marketing there.
Oh, that's great. And what price are you asking?
Right now we're at 850.
Around 850. How did you come up with that price?
I just looked at one of the neighbors, and we basically just said our house was just a little bit better, and we figured they were able to get 825. Why not us get 850?
Fantastic. And are you prepared to adjust your price down when working with a buyer?
I mean, a little bit within reason. It's all subject to whether they have a buyer as far as an agent is concerned. By the way, do you have a buyer that maybe you can bring to us?
Sure, terrific. And I'm curious, why did you, well, okay, you want me to go off the script?
All right, so
You
there we go.
want
Pause right there. Let's pause right there. So, okay, a couple things. So the first thing is thank you for staying on script. It is really important that we do stay on script. However, the areas where I do want you to go off of script is always going to be for what? You've been with me enough time. Why would we go off script?
just to get better?
Well, to know their
Because
motivation.
we're not
Yeah, to
we're
know their
not gonna
motivation.
be like knowing this, like people go like when you're on the phone, then definitely they will talk about, things. And I would probably say that yeah, I have a pool of buyers that are interested in buying, right?
Yeah, but what I'm getting at in regards to the entire conversation, like right now, you're being a different person than you were in the role play. And right now, you're being jovial. We're relaxed, we're casual, we're just having a conversation. But in the script, it's a little bit rigid. It's a little bit A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I don't want you to do that because then
Mhm.
that does not make it personable. What I want you to do is I want you to be able to create. This is the internalization. The internalization is where you can just simply show up. I know you have a great personality. You have an amazing over the top personality. I need it to show up though. Okay. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because part of it is just simply being in a position where you're more comfortable. That's it. Because you're using the right words. Number one. Number two is when we do go off script, it's always going to be for the purpose of their motivation. Let's role reverse. I want to show you versus tell you. So here we go. I'll be the agent. You be the for sale by owner. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, is this the owner of the property here on Banana Street?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. I help a lot of for sale by owners in the area, and I was simply wondering, when you sell this home, where are you going to be going to next?
Los Angeles.
Wow. Okay, so moving over to Los Angeles. How soon are you wanting to be out in LA?
About 3 months.
Okay, got it. So you want to be out there in about the next 3 months, and what would be the benefit of making that move over to LA?
Um, my parents live there.
Oh, very good. Okay, so you got your parents there, so you're going to be a little bit closer to family.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So who else besides your parents are waiting for you in LA?
My sister and some friends.
Oh, there we go. Awesome. So we got your sister, you got some friends, you got your parents. Who in your family is most excited about you getting out there?
My mom.
Oh, there we go. Now, how would you rate your motivation then on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say 9.
Okay. I'm sure mom's excited about you guys coming out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's making the move with you, by the way?
My husband Peter and the boys.
There we go. Now you say boys. Is it 2, 3, 7?
10. Yeah, 7.
Do you see what I'm doing? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do. I want you to keep it light. Okay. Now, is there going to be some for sale banners that are going to be stoic? Like, what do you want? Well, why are you calling me? Why is that any of your business? Sure, fine, whatever. I tried. That's it. Okay. I tried. And then the next week, I'll try again. And then that third week, I'm going to say, hey, I know you, I remember you mentioned to me that you had some boys. Now, how many children do you have? Oh, I have 3. Oh, how old are they? Well, I got a 10, a 12, and a 15-year-old. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that house must be fun. Blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to get at is what I want you to do is instead of it being so rigid, A, B, C, D, E, F, I want you to be able to show your personality in that. Does that make sense?
Wow, yeah.
Okay. So when you do go off script, it's not to talk about the curtains. It's not to talk about all these, in a sense, other things. It's nothing more. If you notice, I talked about what? Your motivation, your mom, your dad, your sister, your friends, your husband, your kids. That's it, because that's your motivation. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. All right, let's go ahead and let's see, who's the other person? Shelly, you're up. Let's give it a shot.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. This is Shelley with California Advantage
Huh?
Real Estate here in Tracy. I am calling about the home for sale on Faulkner Street.
Okay.
Is this the owner?
Yeah. How can I help you?
Yeah. So I work with a lot of buyers here in Tracy, and I wanted to reach out to you. Oh, sorry, I messed up. Sorry. I work with for sale by owners in the area, and I was calling to see if you sold this house, where were you gonna go next?
Well, we don't live in the house, so we're basically not really moving anywhere. We're just moving the money.
Oh, gotcha. You don't live in the house. Okay, so it's an investment property for you.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. So, how would you rate your motivation to sell it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's pretty much up there. I mean, I'm done with this property. It's time to move on. I would probably say about at least an 8, if not a 9.
Okay, you're done with it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like it. I believe you.
Mhm.
So I see you're on ForSaleByOwner.com. Are you using any other methods of marketing?
Well, we got it on Facebook. We have some flyers out in the community. We have a sign in the yard we've been getting a lot of attention on. But hey, I appreciate the call. Do you have any buyers that maybe you can bring our way?
Your way? Sure, yeah. I mean, I always have buyers. I mean, it depends on, condition, but yeah, I'm always working with buyers in the area. And I see you're listed, before I let you go, at 2 million. If you don't mind my asking, how did you determine your sales price?
We just basically feel like that's what it's worth. We just kind of came up with our own value.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you feel that's what it's worth. I got it. Are you prepared to adjust your price down when you are working with a buyer?
We only started on Saturday, so we're not really quite there yet. I mean, if we get into the next year, maybe we might consider it at that time. But hey, I really appreciate the call. If you got a buyer, feel free to bring them by. We are offering 2% commission. So yeah, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, that's great. 2% commission. I'll make a note of that. And yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you just came on the market, so I mean, you wouldn't want to work with an agent right now, but I will definitely keep you in mind. Are you going to have an open house, or how are you showing the property?
Well, right now, basically, it's just by appointment only. I work from home, so it's pretty easy. I pretty much set my own schedule. I just work on projects, not a big thing. So whenever people come by, I just open the door. So, but hey, I really appreciate the call. And yeah, I mean, if you got a buyer, bring them by. So we'll leave
I'll
it
bring
there.
them by. Yep. Okay,
Leave it
that
right
sounds
there.
great. All right.
Let's finish right there. Okay, so here's a couple things, Shelly. So both you and I know I always butcher your name, Sanaz. I'm sorry. But whenever we get the do you have a buyer? You give it to me, I'll give you my response. So I'm the agent.
Yeah, if you have a buyer, just bring them by.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, ask me, do you have a buyer?
Do you have a buyer?
I, um, I do have an inventory of buyers. However, I haven't seen your home and I really don't know exactly the details as to which one of my buyers would fit for you. When should I stop by to take a look at your home? Should I stop by today or would tomorrow be better? So,
Yeah, I
in
can do
what,
it. Yeah.
yeah, in what I'm saying is we always take the objection and we turn it for the purpose of a close. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay. Because in that, part of a little bit with the Shelleyisms is the transitions. You're in the right ballpark. You're exactly where I want you to be at. The challenge, though, is that it doesn't come across fluid. And how do we get it to become fluid? Practice, which is what we're doing. Okay. So let's try it again. I'll be the consumer. I'll be the for sale by owner. Shelly, do you currently have any buyers for my home? If you do, please feel free to bring them by.
Bring them by. Okay, yeah, I do have an inventory of buyers. When should I stop by and take a look at the home to see if it's a fit for any of them?
There we go. Perfect. Okay, a little bit better. Now I do have an inventory of buyers. I don't know which one exactly would be the fit for your home. What I can do is I can stop by, take a look at the home. Should I stop by today or should I stop by tomorrow? But you're right in the vicinity. Okay, so really good job. Thank you for participating. What I want us to make sure we do, here's the next thing, is that when we are getting ourselves in these situations, we get these objections, we get these, I don't know how to handle this. Write it down. And when you write it down, that's the part when we get together, you tell me, hey, coach, how do I handle this? Or somebody told me this, how do I address this? I'm going to help you guys with that. Now, I'm not always going to be there for you. So what can you do what can you do to fix it? What you can do is tomorrow on your role play, which you should have a role play partner, go through and give it to your role play partner. See how they handle it. So I'm going to go tomorrow and I'm going to role play tomorrow with Deborah, and Deborah gives me a response and I'm like, ooh, that's nice, Deborah. I like that. I might actually steal that from you. Hey, thank you so much. Then I go to Farnaz and she gives me a better response and I'm like, oh man, that is solid. I love that. Okay. I mean, I definitely got to take that one. And then I go and role play with Monica and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the best response I've ever gotten. Wow, kudos to you. Hey, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Here, let me do it, okay? So I'm going to try to repeat with what you said. Let's work this thing out. And then I work on it. No different than with what I just simply did with Shelly. I want you guys doing this on your own. Okay? So, any other questions? Lizette, any insights? Anything that we have that maybe I haven't addressed?
No, I think you addressed everything. I think with, is it Sanaz? Yeah, I wrote down the whole repeating and affirming that you mentioned a lot is something that she could work on. I think we can all work on that. But it was something that she caught herself, and then just kind of slowing down the conversation would help, I think.
Yeah,
That way she can grasp that the conversation and slow it down and still have room to ask questions.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So
Thank,
keep it coming.
thank you, Lizette.
There we go. All right, cool. Good stuff. All right, so we're pretty much at the end. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody wants to, we got shot for one more time. Anybody else want to go? You got to put yourself out there. You got to be vulnerable.
Can I go, Robert?
Let's do it.
It's Beatrice. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Beatrice. I'm a realtor with Calfin, and
Hmm?
I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Yeah. What was your name again?
My name is Beatrice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I help a lot of for sale by owners in the area, and I was wondering, when you sell this home, where would you go next?
Well, we're not really looking to make a move too far. We're just looking to get something a little bit smaller.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic. How soon do you want to do that?
I'm not really in a rush. I mean, we're just kind of done with the home. We've been here for 20 plus years, and it's just time for the wifey and I and our dog to just kind of find something a little bit more accommodating.
Well, that makes sense. Fantastic. I was wondering, I mean, how would you rate your motivation? I know you said you're not in a rush, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that?
Well, it's definitely a 10. We're going to make this move, whether it's this year or next year, but it's happening.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so how are you marketing this property?
Well, right now we have it on Facebook. We have a sign in the yard, and there's another website. I forget, my wife put it on there, but we have it on a website too.
Yeah, I actually saw it on Zillow and I see it's for 750. How did you come up with that price?
Well, we got a Zestimate, and it said something ridiculous, 747, 522 or something. I don't know what that number was. And we just kind of took that number. We just said, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay, got it. And I mean, would you be prepared to adjust your price when working with the buyer?
I mean, it all depends. It all depends. All right, let's go to stop right there.
Okay.
So, good job. Thank you for staying on script. Thank you for participating, first off. Participation is key to continuing to grow. All right. So, Lizette, what feedback can you provide to Beatrice?
Sorry, it took me a little minute. And I like that she had like the upswing at the right moments. Like you carry your tone very well. Um, and I do think that's a really great thing. Um, but that was pretty much what I wrote down for this one.
Okay. So the other thing that I would say, Beatrice, is basically it's a little bit of going back to Sanaz with a little bit more personality, whereas Sanaz is what's it called? She's like a 7 or 8. You were closer to an 8 in terms of the personality. Good, but not great. It's the other part of it too is that it was a little bit ABC is what I'm trying to get at. And in that, what I want you to do is I want you to get comfortable with asking questions between the questions. There
Okay.
in with what we the scenario, where could you have added a question based on with what we did?
I think when he said that he wanted to downsize, I could have said, "Oh, well, how small is it? I mean, what are you trying to get to?"
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so downsizing, huh? And you said 20 plus years? So it sounds to me you probably raised a family there, huh? Well, that's great. That's awesome. Good for you guys. Now, when you say downsizing, how much of a home are you looking for? Anything in that vicinity. Because what it does is it kind of comes across a little dismissed when you go through, and it's kind of like question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. You want to be able to make it conversational. Okay. But it's not bad. I don't want to come across as if though you did poor. I just want to make sure where there are the areas of opportunities. That's my job to extract that. All
Yeah, and
right,
I'm trying to get better at that because I did notice before that I would overtalk, so I'm trying to find that balance.
and well, the balance is talking. That's the balance. Meaning don't talk, ask. That's the difference.
Got
Okay,
it.
that's where people make the mistake. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Andrew, I did get your question here. When you get the preview and set the appointment, what is the next steps? We're going to talk about that very same thing tomorrow. Okay, so I do want to make sure you guys do tune in. I always want to start on time, finish on time. I'll go into the depthness of that, Andrew, I promise, but you got to show up tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about that very same thing. What do we do on a preview? All right, everybody, let's have a powerful, productive Wednesday. Okay, and go take a listing or 5, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.